Welcome back to Character Conversions, where I try to bring fictional characters to life in D&D. I've done Walter C. Dornez and Alexander Anderson, so it seemed only right to finally try my best at the secret weapon of Hellsing, Alucard. Now oddly enough, there are two versions of this character that can be done. You could go for the more serious version of the official Hellsing Ultimate Anime, or you could try for the more comical version of the abridged anime known as the Crimson Fucker. For this, though, we will try to represent the official Alucard. For stats, we'll be using the standard array of the player's handbook. Strength will be 10. I would have put an 8 here, but I decided I wanted him to be at least equal in strength to Alexander Anderson, even if we primarily use ranged attacks. Dexterity is 13. We use guns after all. Constitution will be 14. We need to be able to take quite the beating. Intelligence will be 8. It had to go somewhere, and I don't think we need to be too knowledgeable of the world. That's what briefings are for. Wisdom is 12, we are strong-willed, and finally, Charisma is 15. We are intimidating as hell, and this will be our primary stat. For race, Alucard is obviously a human-turned-vampire, so the closest we can get to this is the Damnfear. We'll put the +2 in our Charisma for a 17, and raise our Dexterity to a 14 with the +1. I like to homebrew it that we count as both humanoid and undead like the original Unearthed Arcana, but that's not official anymore. Our base speed is 35 feet, we gain dark vision out to 60 feet. As an additional language, let's pick up Celestial for any holy text we might come across. Our deathless nature makes it so we don't need to breathe. We have a natural spider climb ability, giving us a climbing speed equal to our walking speed, and at 3rd level we're able to move up and down and across vertical surfaces, and upside down along ceilings, while leaving our hands free. Finally, we have a Vampiric Bite. It deals 1d4 piercing damage, and we can add our Constitution modifier to attack and damage rolls. We can have advantage on this bite attack if we are missing half or more of our hit points. When we bite a creature that is in a construct or an undead, we may also empower the bite in one of two ways. We can either regain HP equal to the damage dealt by the bite, or gain a bonus on our next ability check or attack roll equal to the damage of the bite. We are able to do this a number of times per long rest equal to our proficiency modifier. If you can convince your GM to allow it, maybe add in the effect from Planeshift Zendikar. Vampires in that source turn humanoids into zombies when they kill them with their bites. Sounds a whole lot like Hellsing to me. For the background, we will pick up Far Traveler. I don't know about how far physically he has roamed, but Alucard has definitely traveled far through time and seen much. This gives us insight and perception as skill proficiencies. We are proficient in one musical instrument or gaming set of our choice. Maybe pick up the pipe organ or chess. We gain one language. We will pick up Infernal for the other end of Holy Text Spectrum. And finally, we gain the All Eyes on You feature, meaning we tend to stick out in a crowd, but because of this, nobles and other local officials may be willing to meet with us to hear about where we are from. Alucard received his powers by making a deal with the devil, so we are definitely a warlock. This gives us a D8 hit die, proficiency with light armor and simple weapons, proficiency with wisdom and charisma saves, and for skills we will choose intimidation and religion. At 1st level, we must select our patron. There are several choices that would work for Alucard, but for our build we shall choose the Undying Patron. This gives us the Among the Dead ability, granting us the Spare the Dying cantrip, our representation for the first step of saving Ceres' life, and we have advantage on saving throws against any disease. Additionally, now whenever an undead targets us directly with an attack or a harmful spell, that creature must make a wisdom save or be forced to select a new target. Success and they are immune to this effect for 24 hours, but they are also immune if we attack them. Pact Magic grants us 1 level 1 spell slot, 2 cantrips, and 2 first level spells. For cantrips, our first will be Eldritch Blast. We will flavor this as being fired from one of our hand crossbows, or firearm if that's allowed, and with this as an infinite ammo, we effectively now have Schrodinger's magazines. Our second cantrip will be Friends, to represent a minor version of Alucard's ability to influence minds. Our first level spells will be Hex and Arms of Hadar. Hex will increase our damage in single combat, and Arms of Hadar will allow us to strike at everyone within 10 feet of us for 2d6 necrotic damage. And it can be flavored rather well to represent Alucard releasing some of his inner shadow self. At 2nd level, we gain 2 Eldritch Invocations. Our first choice will be the Agonizing Blast. This will add our Charisma modifier to the damage of our Eldritch Blast. Our second will be Fiendish Vigor, allowing us to cast False Life at will as a 1st level spell. We can now have 5 to 8 temporary hit points at all times, and being able to constantly cast this for free can represent Alucard's regeneration somewhat. We also gain an additional 1st level spell. We will choose Charm Person to further strengthen our vampiric powers. At 3rd level, we switch classes. If we were abridged, this would be Bard. But for this more serious version, we will go with Sorcerer, specifically the Shadow Magic Sorcerer. This gives us a d6 hit die, and as a Shadow Magic Sorcerer, we gain Eyes of the Dark, giving us dark vision out to 120 feet now. And at our 3rd level this class we will learn the Darkness spell and can cast it by spending 2 sorcerer points instead of expending a spell slot. When we cast with sorcery points, we can see through the darkness we create. We also gain Strength of the Grave. Now once per long rest, if we would be reduced to 0 hit points, we can make a Charisma saving throw with a dice check equal to 5 plus the damage taken, and on a success we instead drop to 1 hit point. But we can't use this if we are reduced to 0 hit points by radiant damage or a critical hit. Our spellcasting gives us 4 cantrips, 2 first level spell slots, and 2 first level spells known. For our cantrips, we will choose Message, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, and Gust. Because Eldritch Blast is our primary attack, we're selecting mostly showy cantrips. Our first level spells will be Mage Armor and Featherfall. We're an anime character, so it helps to be able to go without armor and survive falls from great heights. Our 2nd level of Sorcerer grants us Font of Magic and an additional first level spell. Font of Magic grants us sorcery points equal to our level. These can be spent as a bonus action to create spell slots, or in reverse, turning spell slots into sorcery points. Our spell choice this level will be Jump. Similar to how we selected Featherfall, now we can jump to great heights and also survive the falls that might occur. 5th level grants us Meta Magic, allowing us to spend our sorcery points to alter the rules of some of our spells. We'll pick up Quicken Spell, allowing us to turn a spell with an action casting time into a bonus action, and Settle Spell, allowing us to remove somatic and verbal components for 1 sorcery point. Because this is our 3rd level in Sorcerer, the Shadow Magic Origin automatically gives us the Darkness spell. For our own personal spell selection, we will choose Misty Step to represent our ability to turn into mist, or even bats, to move about. 6th level and our 4th level in Sorcerer grants us an ability score increase. We will trade this for the feat Gunner. We increase our dexterity by +1 to a 15, we gain proficiency with firearms, ignore the loading property, and now being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage on our ranged attack rolls. If your GM isn't allowing guns, you can take Crossbow Expert, but if you can, take Gunner anyway for the +1 to dexterity. And your gun really only needs to be a spell focus to fire Eldritch Blast from. Our 2nd level spell choice this level will be Alter Self. We can now alter our form to look like anyone we may have drained of blood, or maybe we just want to be a woman in a white coat during the Blitzkrieg. We also gain an additional cantrip, for which we will choose Infestation. While fighting Luke Valentine, there is a moment where you can see a swarm of centipedes crawling out of the darkness. 7th level is just a 3rd level spell, of which we will choose Gaseous Form, an upgrade to the idea behind Misty Step. 8th level, our Shadow Origin now gives us the Hound of Ill Omen, or as we will call it, the Black Hound of Baskerville. Now as a bonus action we can spend 3 sorcery points to summon the Hound to attack one target within 120 feet. It uses the Dire Wolf stats, but its size is medium and it is a monstrosity, not a beast. It has a number of temporary hit points equal to half our sorcerer level. It can move through creatures or objects as though they were difficult terrain, and at the start of its turn it automatically knows its target's location. The Hound appears within 30 feet of the target, rolls its own initiative, and can move only towards its target and only attack the target. Additionally, while it is within 5 feet of the target has disadvantage on saves against our spells. The Hound disappears if it is reduced to 0 hit points, if its target is reduced to 0 hit points, or after 5 minutes have passed. Our 3rd level spell for this level is going to be Fear, for when Intimidation is just not enough. 9th level is just a 4th level spell. We will be choosing Dimension Door for even more vampiric speed, and we can also take someone with us now. 10th level sees us gaining another ability score improvement. No feat this time, we'll be increasing both our Dexterity and Charisma to 16 and 18 respectively. We also gain our second 4th level spell, but we will instead grab another 3rd level spell, Vampiric Touch. We can heal half the damage we deal with this spell, and it lasts for a minute. At 11th level, we gain our first 5th level spell. Dominate Person lets us charm a humanoid within 90 feet. We form a telepathic link with them and are able to command them at will with this link. We can also take direct control of them with an action. 12th level grants us another metamagic option. We will choose Distance Spell, allowing us to spend a sorcery point to double the range of a spell with a range of 5 feet or greater, or to increase a touch spell to 30 feet. I don't know what the range of the castle and the jackal are, but with this we can shoot up to 240 feet. We gain another 5th level spell, let's grab Telekinesis. Finally, we gain an additional cantrip, for which we will choose Control Flames. 13th level is our first 6th level spell. If you can convince your GM to allow it, pick up Widowgas Transmogrification. After using Spare the Dying on Ceres, we need a way to turn her into a vampire like us. Otherwise, just grab True Seeing. We have so many eyes, our sight is bound to be good. At 14th level, we gain another ability score improvement. We will put it in our Charisma, capping it off at 20. 15th level grants us a 7th level spell, and sadly Regenerate is not a sorcerer spell, or we would be taking that. If you convince your GM to allow Widowgas Transmogrification last level, perhaps pick up True Seeing this level, but otherwise you can pick up Finger of Death. Perhaps it can represent a shot from the jackal. Be careful who you aim that second hand cannon at though, it may be cursed. At 16th level, our Shadow Origin grants us Shadow Walk. Now when we are in dim light or darkness, as a bonus action we can teleport up to 120 feet to an unoccupied space that we can see that is also in dim light or darkness. 17th level is our 8th level spell. We will choose Incendiary Cloud. That is probably our best representation for Alucard releasing his restraint level 0. I prefer some kind of supercharged Spirit Guardians maybe, but hey, we have to make do with what we have. At 18th level, we gain our final ability score improvement. We will raise our Constitution to 16 to further increase the pool of hit points we have to tank damage with. At 19th level, we will choose our final meta magic option. We'll be taking Seeking Spell, allowing us to spend 2 sorcerer points when we miss with a spell attack to reroll the d20. We also gain our 9th level spell, of which we will choose Wish. There are some effects we can't seem to capture with Alucard, but this should be able to cover all those bases with the ability to replicate any spell of 8th level or lower, and in some cases create custom effects. How did Alucard spread his influence over an entire battleship and bring it into the harbor? Wish probably could cover that for us. 28th level, our Shadow Magic grants us Umbral Form. We can spend 6 sorcery points as a bonus action to transform. In this form, we have resistance to all damage except force and radiant damage. Oddly enough, the type of damage you'd probably expect from both Walter and Anderson. We can also move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain. We can remain in this form for 1 minute, and it ends early if we are incapacitated, if we die, or if we dismiss it as a bonus action. End result, we have 135 hit points. Not gonna lie, a little low for my taste, but we have a constant supply of temporary hit points due to False Life. Mage Armor will give us an AC of 16. Eldritch Blast will average 10 damage with each blast, 40 on a single target. Hex can increase this damage to 14 per blast and 56 with single targeting. With Quicken Spell, we could dish out an average of 112 force damage in 1 round. We can create darkness that we can still see through, and even teleport to maintain our distance. While not a perfect representation of Alucard, I think it's suitable and sounds fun to play. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment your opinions or suggestions for new builds. I hope all your 20s are natural, and we'll see you next time.